We are seeing, to a greater extent than even I had imagined, Lewis, the Oslo, Norway shooters' right-wing affiliations and Christian religion are being absolutely destroyed, or at least the attempt is being made to destroy them by conservative media to a degree much, much more significant than what I expected. I knew we would start to hear conservative media starting to distance or simply not mention the fact that this shooter was a right-winger. I figured we would hear the religious type starting to say, this is not a real Christian, even if he has references to himself as a Christian in his writings, even if those things are all the case, we are still going to hear, well, he's not a real Christian, because real Christians would never do this. I'm surprised. Mm-hmm. Are you not surprised about this?
Well, I mean, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? So the more we try to point out the connection, the more they'll try to debunk it.
Well, Bill O'Reilly is at the top of the list in terms of doing this. And Bill O'Reilly is outraged that the media is accurately, because let's be honest, it's an accurate portrayal of Breivik as a Christian and as a right-winger. And Bill O'Reilly is going with the notion that no one who believes in Jesus would commit mass murder, period. Which is fantastic, because aren't many mass murderers who are in jail Christian? I mean, in other words, isn't it on the record that there's plenty of Christian murderers?
Yeah.
And many of them are in jail.
Has Bill ever heard of the Crusades? I wonder.
Well, come on, Lewis. He has. We know he has. Because there are many times Bill O'Reilly, and I wish I remembered what his reaction was, people will come on his show and they will mention when Bill O'Reilly says, no, Christianity is people throwing bouquets at each other and flowers and swimming and bocce ball. It's all just great, lovely things.
Bocce ball.
Well, maybe Bill O'Reilly isn't a bocce ball type of guy. That's been brought up to him. It doesn't faze Bill O'Reilly. So here he is, and listen very specifically to the words he's using here in this particular clip, because it's very telling. It's shockingly convenient the way he frames this. Let's take a listen.
Other news organizations like the LA Times and Reuters also played up the Christian angle. But Breivik is not a Christian. That's impossible. No one believing in Jesus commits mass murder. The man might have called himself a Christian on the net, but he is certainly not of that faith. Also, Breivik is not attached to any church, and in fact has criticized the Protestant belief system in general. The Christian angle came from a Norwegian policeman, not from any fact-finding.
Okay.
So this guy claims to be a Christian but doesn't know anything about it.
Right. He doesn't know enough.
Well, Bill, welcome to Christianity.
So there's so many layers to this thing, Lewis. First is he's not identified with a church. Okay. I'm not identified with any synagogue. Why would anybody deny that I'm Jewish? I mean, I'm Jewish. I'm telling you, Lewis. Really.
I know.
I'm saying it on the internet, and I'm saying it on the show, and I'm saying it everywhere. Mm-hmm. I am Jewish.
Right.
But I'm not associated with any synagogue. So first of all, let's throw that out. Then number two, Bill O'Reilly is brilliantly in some ways muddying the waters by saying that this is not something that anybody who is Christian would do. In other words, he's not a true Christian if he does this, which is a brilliant preemptive exculpation of anything bad that somebody calling themselves a Christian does. Mm-hmm. You can be a Christian all your life, and Bill O'Reilly will be okay with that. If you do something like commit mass murder, you weren't really a Christian that whole time. Because
wasn't Hitler a Christian too?
A Christian would never do that. Would they, Lewis?
I think they would.
So Bill O'Reilly really fleecing some people on this. Does Bill O'Reilly really believe this, or does he believe that it's a good idea to say this on his show? I don't know. I can't get in Bill O'Reilly's head. But what we do know is that this is the same argument that reasonable Muslims, which are almost all of them, try to make about the radicals that actually are involved in terrorist acts. And people like Bill O'Reilly and his ilk shut it down. In other words, how many times have we heard, Lewis, after a Muslim is involved in a terror attack, other Muslims will go on, anything, college professors, religious scholars, whoever, and they'll say, you know, this is not Islam. This is a perversion of Islam. This is people who are not like 99.9% of Muslims. These are extremists, and there is no reason that this should reflect negatively on the religion itself.
Right.
And
the Quran does not condone murder.
And people like Bill O'Reilly say, well, you know, the thing is, it's a problem. There is a Muslim problem here. And Peter King, Republican congressman from New York, says we need to hold Muslim hearings because it's a problem. It doesn't matter that reasonable Muslims point out and denounce these acts. But for some reason, when it's on the Christian side, it's okay. No, this guy was never a Christian because he did something bad he couldn't possibly have been. So there it is. And then, of course, we have the more umbrella argument that doesn't even relate to Christianity, which is, this is a crazy guy. What does it matter, his political affiliation? What does it matter, his religion? This is just a nut. His political leanings are completely irrelevant. So we're hearing that too. It's the whole package, Lewis. It's perfect, and we're getting it served up to a T by these conservative media outlets. They're absolutely loving it. And I think people are buying into it is the worst part.
Of course. Whoever wants to buy into it will buy into it if it's convenient for them.